Late last night, we got a community update from Infinity Ward, as we do with every single Friday, and we've talked about in the past that they don't really provide a whole lot of insight into what's upcoming, and then we kind of hope to see that change a little bit. And yesterday's, I think, was a solid step in the right direction. Was it everything that we wanted? Probably not, but at least it was something better than what we've gotten in the past. What we got was a bit of a recap of the lesser publicized changes made under the radar to the game this past week, but also we were given a decent amount of what to expect with this coming week ahead, and for that, I'm all for that. So today we're going to break down this preview and recap a bit of the changes that were made that I didn't quite get around to covering the last few days. And with that said, as we go along, what's your favorite part here of this? What are you looking forward to the most out of what they detailed and what they previewed for the upcoming week? Is it any of the particular modes, anything you're hoping to see in terms of the new map? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button, as we're just a few hundred off from the 300,000 subscriber mark, and we'll keep you up to date with all things you need to know with Modern Warfare on a daily basis. But anyways, let's begin. So like we said, this came from the community update over on Infinity Ward's website. I can leave a link down there in the description below if you guys want to check out the full thing, but we'll break down the meat and potatoes here in this video and break down basically the big key stuff and the implications it has. But they started out, as always, by saying, let's take a look at what happened in the studio this week, them mentioning they added the NVG reinforced playlist along with combining Rust and Shipment 24/7, which is fantastic. I love being able to grind out camos again. And they also added in the 1v1 me bro playlist, which is just 1v1s on Rust. But the cool stuff comes down to a little bit later on in this post when they said what's coming up next week, because while it's not something that we may be expecting a major title update on Tuesday, we may still get a title update. I don't know if anybody's pulled out if the new gunfight map was actually already in the game files whenever some of these systems had upwards of 60 gigabytes for a download of the Season 2 update. But what's coming ahead isn't necessarily a handful of new maps or anything like a Season 2 launch part 2, but instead is a smaller scale update, but still has some cool stuff no less. They said we've got some 3v3 snipers on Rust action coming your way, along with infantry ground war, and we're also adding a new map, Bazaar, into the rotation. And to make the weekend even better, we'll be turning on double XP starting on Friday. So 3v3 snipers on Rust is going to be interesting. I like the dynamic of 3v3 gunfight, to be honest with you. I've had some good times with that, and plus I roll a lot of the times with 3 players total, myself included, so it works out nicely to have everybody available to play the same match in gunfight. But I know that recently whenever we had the snipers only gunfight, that was something that players, I think, had things like the EBR and stuff in, so that'll be interesting to see how the dynamic of all that works out, but also still playing a little bit more on that new map of Rust, which I'm all for. The infantry ground war is probably the thing I am most excited for out of almost any of the LTMs that we've seen throughout the entirety of Modern Warfare so far. So what infantry ground war is going to be is ground war, but without tanks or APCs, which is something that I have been wanting for so long, man. If you've been around the channel here since launch, or even since the beta, whenever we first got our experiences with ground war for the first time, I've said the entire time, if you don't want to remove them entirely, at least nerf them. There's so many things you could do. You could limit the amount of mortar shells that it has. You could limit the amount of spawns. You could limit the amount of armor they have. There's so many things that I personally think would make this become less of a handout in ground war. So to be able to have an entire week of no tanks and APCs, I'm gonna be in heaven, dude. Now, to my knowledge, I don't think this will cover if somebody gets the IAV tank kill streak. I think that will still be viable and something you can call in. I don't think they're taking that out entirely, but again, that's something that I don't see many people running to begin with, so I'm all for this, and I really hope that maybe this spawns some adjustments later on down the line for either how tanks are worked in ground war, or maybe even just seeing this become something that is relatively more frequent than just once every 4 months. So I'm all for that. The one thing though that I will say is that it will kind of complicate one of the officer challenges though. As much as I absolutely cannot stand the tanks in ground war, some of this season's officer challenges are definite trolls, and one of them is to get kills with the IAV, which the tanks in ground war actually do count towards that. So that'll be one week that players won't really be working towards that, I'd imagine, but like I said, I'm just all for that one. Then they mentioned that we have a new map of Bazaar. This one was showcased in the trailer and even promotional material. It was a 2v2 map that we'll be seeing here as of Tuesday, and from the looks of it, it looks to be a little bit more open, but also have some slight verticality to it as well. I don't want to say like as open as Atrium because we haven't played around with this one just yet, but it'll be another interesting dynamic to the 2v2 gunfight mode. I know this isn't everybody's favorite cup of tea. I know that the way the modes are split up within Modern Warfare this year, it kind of fragments the player base a little bit, to which some of these don't really have any implications for players. Like if you play 6v6 exclusively or ground war exclusively, you're probably not going to really care too much about this map being introduced on Tuesday, and vice versa in other scenarios. If you play ground war exclusively, you didn't really care about the new maps of Rust and Atlas. You can kind of see how these all break down. So it doesn't say anything about whether we'll see another regular map. We still have one more Condor Hideout listed in particular in season within Modern Warfare's Season 2 promotional material, but I'd imagine that's saved for another day. We still have new operators like Talon and Mace. We still have new game modes of Infected Ground War. We still have a new weapon coming in season as well. So I'd imagine that we see this spread out as almost one per week or something for the coming weeks, and maybe a surprise or two if they decide to throw that kind of stuff in to elongate the season. But at least the new 2v2 map is making its way in as well. The final thing listed is simply just that of a double XP event starting on Friday, which is going to be advantageous, I think, now since we're at the beginning of the season. Whenever they happen later on down the line, for a lot of players, it might not be something that they really have the need to capitalize on since they may be 155 already. But with so many people still being lower ranks here at the very beginning of the season, the first couple of weeks, it will be something that's a nice way to rank up and get towards that main goal of 155, and of course net yourself potentially even that FR556 codebreaker variant. So that's the changes here we can expect in the upcoming week. And again, they may not be absolutely massive or like earth-shattering like we see with a Season 2 update that offers a whole ton of stuff everywhere, but it's stuff that I'm looking forward to, and I'm definitely excited for some things being introduced that players wanted to see. Maybe I'm biased again with that Infantry Ground War, and I'm also happy that they actually gave us a little bit more to look forward to, and we're a little bit more transparent about the coming week. But again, that wasn't the only thing they talked about. They also mentioned some of these fixes that were made throughout the week that, again, we didn't get to cover quite in the moment. So to go back in here, talk about these, they ended up mentioning that they made a fix for regiment tags appearing incorrectly. They mentioned there was a fix for some players being unable to claim existing battle pass tokens. There was a fix for players receiving the Jockworth error while in gunfight tournaments. There were back-end fixes. They fixed the bug where numbers on the team rosters and number on the Codcaster minimap did not correspond. They fixed an issue with gunsmith exploits in the CDL playlist. And for Point Man, there was a fix for an issue where kill chain scores were being given for kill streak kills without having kill chain equipped. So that's kind of a long chain of events to maybe follow here with that, but an error was available with the Point Man perk. Now, the big one that really stands out to me is that of what they mentioned is a fix for the regiment tags appearing incorrectly. Now, this honestly could be a number of different things because regiments were kind of bugged in how they displayed in a number of different ways. There are clan tags that would glitch out that would put a 3 in the clan tag. There was a glitch that recently, of course, you had the ability to change the entire color of your name. Some of these clan tags also then ended up removing aim assist for players that were shooting at people with these regiment tags. So there was a whole host of issues here with this, and to my knowledge, from what I've heard and even some anecdotal experiences myself, it seems like some of these may have been fixed. I've still run into contact with people with the glitched clan tag of having 3, and to my knowledge, I do think there are still some issues with the aim assist that happens as a result here of this, but it seems like they're trying to push in the right direction of some fixes. Personally, again, I have absolutely no idea how any of these things correspond, especially when it comes to just a clan tag and the aim assist feature. That to me just one-to-one doesn't match up, but again, I'm no game engineer. I don't have any insight into how that would work. It's just kind of crazy to me, but here's the hoping the feature gets entirely fixed out in the next coming days. But that was mentioned as a fix. And the other big one that came down out of this was that of the Jockworth error in gunfight tournaments. Personally, I haven't experienced this. I actually didn't see too many of the Jockworth errors even showcased anywhere, either that be on Twitter and YouTube comments, on Reddit, wherever it is that people may post about it. But if I were to guess, I would say that it is something that has to do with the disconnects in the gunfight tournament. That's something that I've seen a ton of people talking about how they've gotten disconnected. So I'm hoping that's a fix here for that, and something that going forward, there's no longer any errors and issues here for the next coming days, as this may still be around. If I were to guess, I'd say the gunfight tournament is going away as of Tuesday with the playlist refresh. We saw the only other one introduced as a 4-day event, this one now being an 11-day event, so I can't imagine it goes for too much longer. But ultimately, that is the community update here that Infinity Ward gave us. Again, a lot more insightful than other ones in the past, so I'm happy with what we got here for this. Is there still room for improvement? Absolutely, but I'll take it one step at a time here with this. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Wanted to keep you guys in the loop and in the know for absolutely anything you needed to with Modern Warfare. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section and down below. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking forward to, or you really like to hear out of this update? Are you guys looking forward to the new 2v2 map? Are you looking forward to, like me, Infantry Ground War? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. We are so close to 300,000 subscribers here on the channel. And firstly, can't thank you guys enough for the continued support throughout the years to even get to this point. And secondly, appreciate you guys still continuing to support the channel as we round into a new milestone here. So if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. But if you guys want to connect with me outside of YouTube, Twitter and Instagram are the best places to do so. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.